Ay, partner. Ngayon ko lang napansin yung mga pubmats natin. Grabe, ang gaganda. Hindi ba isa ka rin sa mga graphic designers ng CETSC?
Oo. Sa graphic designing, kailangan hindi ka magi-stick sa isang style lang, lalo na kapag graphic designer ka. Kailangan flexible ka sa mga bagay-bagay and kailangan alam mo yung balance nung kung ano yung appeasing sa mata ng mga tao. Syempre, hindi kailangan sobra, hindi rin kailangan naman na kulang.
Grabe, sana all magaling sa graphic designing. Although, I'm not very good sa field na yan, I'm willing to learn because in the future, I know I can incorporate and apply yung mga learning dito sa mga arts-related requirements sa class.
Tamang-tama. Dahil for our next speaker, she is a magna cum laude computer science graduate in St. Paul University. She is also a seasoned mentor and a public speaker who hosts events and provides peer tutoring. She is also recognized for discussing CSIT courses, including automation, database systems, information security, and web development fundamentals. She is an ambassador for Angel Hack. Currently, she is a technical support specialist in power technology and also a YouTube content creator goes by the name Atcha Abe. Let us welcome our speaker for Grapmanship. Discover and elevate your graphic designing game, Miss Athena Abe. Let us give her a warm round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dennis and Luis. And thank you to PLNCD for inviting me. Good afternoon sa inyo. Good evening from here. I'll be sharing my screen so we can begin. Ayan, thank you. All right. So today we'll be learning about graphic design based din sa introduction. I believe a lot of you are interested. Hi, Rafael. Ayan. A lot of you are interested to learn about graphic design, whether or not you already have the skill set needed, the fundamentals, or you just want to expand your skills when it comes to learning in terms of technology. Ayan. And later, I'll be sharing a link. So you will also be doing some activities para makita natin na natututo talaga kayo. And definitely, I also want to commend our previous speaker, Sir Don. So malaking bagay din na later on after this event is for you to be able to apply what you have learned from creating a landing page in Shopify and also learning about the fundamentals of graphic design. So hopefully at the end of this event, you'll be able to create your own landing page and also practice your design skills. So as you can see, I've already been introduced. I'm currently based in San Diego, California, USA. I'm working for a restaurant tech company based in New York. I also have a background in social media management, and I definitely agree that SEO or search engine optimization is definitely a big part, especially then with product marketing and also in tech din as well. So madaming opportunities in tech, and definitely this is something na I commend then with the organizers na provide sa inyo na topics. So I also do talks with regards to UI UX, and I've been doing training using a design tool called Figma. So that's what we're going to use for today. And today you'll just learn two things. First is the fundamentals, which are the elements of graphic design. And also, while we learn about the fundamentals, we're also going to use a tool. So that would be creating your first graphic design activity using Figma. So ayan, bago tayo magsimula, tuwing nagtutok ako, pag walang nagre-recite, mahilig ako magtawag. Kaya kung ayaw nyo matawag, ang tahimik nyo lately, nanonood din ako kanina, ayan. So sino dito ang nakagamit na or nakatry na ng Figma? Ayan, anyone? At least I would expect 5 answers. Sabi ni Joshua, me. Ayan, thank you. Very good. How about the others? 4 more people. Ayan. Hindi pa po, sabi ni Dennis. How about si Razor? Ayan, I hope I pronounced your name. Sabi ni Muriel, ako po, very good. Di pa po, sabi ni Jenny. One more, hindi pa. Very good. Thank you. Ayan, ginagamit ko po sa work. Ayan, very good. So later, I'll definitely give you access to this. Everybody will learn. And kahit you already have a background in Figma, this will also expand your skills too. Ayan, thank you. But before we begin, I know you guys um, have this visual representation kung ano yung aesthetic, maganda tignan sa mata. Tulad ng sinabi ng host kanina na graphic design is all about talent. Pero what do you think would happen if nobody knows about the fundamentals of graphic design? Sa tingin niyo, anong mangyayari kung graphic design didn't exist? What do you think the world would be right now? Or what do you think yung mga nakikita natin or ginagamit natin, do you think would happen if nobody knows what graphic design is? Ayan. So, we can wait for at least 5 answers again. Sabi ni Rafael, plain lang po. How about the others? You can go ahead and unmute your mic. Ayan, sabi ni Joshua, there's no proper branding of a product or company. So, since we're talking about product, kanina, di ba, the previous speaker demonstrated a 9 peso page. So, imagine nyo yung 9 peso page na yun, walang structure, di ba? Walang layout. So, tama yung sinabi ni Joshua, natutunan niya sa to kanina, there's no proper branding. How about the others? Ayan. How about Hermione? What a pretty name. Ayun. Anybody else? So, plain, no proper branding. Possible pong hindi magiging organized ang product niyo po. Yes, very good. Definitely. So, there's going to be some disturbance or out of balance. Ika nga. Ayan. Thank you. Next. All right. So, here, we will be learning about all of the elements. We're going to learn about, ayan, sabi ni Benita, ang dal po tignan, hindi makaka-attract sa consumers. Definitely, especially if that you're going to sell a product, kanina yung plain a white shirt, di ba? How are you going to sell that product? Maliban sa sale na nga, price can be enticing, although at the same time, you still need to market it as something that will really make them buy that product. So we have line, shape, form, texture, and balance. Ayan, I believe all throughout grade school, kinder, or college, na dadaan-daanan na natin to, and we'll just have a review, but at the same time, you will be taking into practice or applying it yung matututunan niyo today. Okay, let's first begin with line. So line is a shape that connects two or more points. It can be a straight line, a curved line. Ayan, they could be parang zigzag or they can be jagged. And an example of line is line art, as you can see there. And also line would also help us to have a visual representation in terms of guiding the user where they should be looking at or yung flow. An example of that is an organization chart. So lines help you be directed kung ano yung una yung titignan. As you can see here on this chart, it can be also be a flow chart. You can see the top of an organization. The first level is the CEO up until the third level. So that is an example of a line. So with that, ayan, you will take it step by step for each element. Right now, I'm going to give you access to the Figma file that we have. And then I'm going to wait for you guys here. I believe we're 25 right now, so at least I'll be expecting around 20 people. Ayan, very good. Okay. So this is the Figma. This is a prototyping and design tool. If you want to learn more in-depth tutorials about it, I have it here on my resources link. You can click on it later. And if you want to learn more, but today we'll be focusing on graphic design and how you can use Figma. So everyone can go over to the design board. Ayan, very good. So we're going to create our first activity with lines. But first, on the top left corner, go ahead and click beside the arrow on the right side, click on frame or press F. Ayan. And then go ahead and drag your frame inside the design board. Okay, let's see. Sige, go lang. Explore lang. Ayan, very good. Ayan. Drag it. On the top left corner, double click on the frame 1 and then name it on based on your name. So, I'll just put here Atcha. Yan. So, people would know kung kaninong frame yan. Alright. Very good. Okay. And then, para makapag-zoom in kayo, hold control and up. Scroll up. Wait lang. Medyo struggle lang. Ayan. And then, hold this space bar so you can drag and navigate para ma-adjust. Ayan. Okay. There you go. So you can go ahead and focus on your frame. And then once you've created your frame and renamed your frame, you can go ahead and click on text here and then create per text, create 1 to 5. So you're going to do 5 outputs today. Very simple outputs. So you can just go ahead and copy paste it and then change it. So 1, 2, 3, ayan, 4, and 5. Alright. There you go. Pwede din natin usog ng konti para mix. Ayan. Alright, let's see. Okay. Alright, how about the others? Half lang tayo dito. If especially for those who haven't tried Figma, I think this is a good opportunity for you to be able to follow along as well. Ayan, very good. John Yell. I can see other people here. You can go ahead and join. Ayan. Okay. Thank you. Very good. So, if you're that type of person na hindi mo nakikita yung sarili mo na magiging graphic designer in the future, or you're not really interested in graphic design at all, you're more the type of person na programming, developer, I think what is also helpful with Figma is that dito ko din ginagawa yung assignment ko when I was in college. I do Venn diagrams. So all in one platform na siya, especially when I need to do presentation. Dito ko din ginagawa yung PowerPoint ko. So kung gusto mo ng madali ang gumawa ng PowerPoint, you can definitely use Figma. If hindi mo naman balak mag-graphic design. And another thing that what's good about Figma is that it helped me with our prototype when creating our PC. So yung group namin before, we're not really strong skilled when it comes to creating prototypes, ganyan, creating a mock-up. So we used Figma. So Figma really is helpful when it comes to having your idea, specifically your study, and to make it to represent it visually. Ayan. Very good. Okay. So very simple lang ang steps natin. Just create a frame, rename your frame, and put 1 to 5. Okay. And para you can save time, you can go ahead and copy na lang din yung ginawa ko and just paste it. Alright. Or you can go ahead and drag it para hindi isa-isa. So you can just drag it, except sa frame, then paste it. Alright. Okay, very good. So, yan, pwede nyo din i-copy yung frame. Palitan nyo na lang ng name. Mas madali. Alright. So, that is all about lines. And another thing that we also need to take note when it comes to lines is lines can be defined through the weight, ayan, how thick it is, the color, the texture, and the size. So again, lines can be either straight, wavy, Can be in zigzags or it can be jagged or what we call jagged. And so, our activity for line, di ba napakalayo? At siya, bakit mo kami pinapagawa ng no parking sign? Eh, ang element natin ay line. So later I'll explain. But on your first activity, you'll be creating two examples of a no parking sign. Based on what you learned about lines, weight, color, texture, size, these are the different types of lines. It's a shape that connects two or more points. The challenge here is for you using Figma to create a no parking sign, two different examples of a no parking sign. Ayan. All right. So I'll give you an example. Don't worry. So, diba, when creating a no parking sign, what does it look like? So you put your shape. Ayan. So in number 1, dalawa yung, lang. Ayan, dalawa yung output natin, diba? So we have red and white. Medyo pogi. Meron tayong participant, pogi daw siya. Ayan. Okay. Let me just change this to clear. Yan. Okay. And then lagyan ko na lang din to ng stroke. Okay. Ayan. So, di masyado kita yung white. Pero 'di ba usually no parking. Stop yung gagawin ko. Dapat no parking. Ayan. So you can definitely check a reference. Ayan, no parking. So let's say this one. I'll send a sample. Ayan. So we can use this as an example. Na-crop ko siya. Ayan. So go ahead and do 2 examples of a no parking sign. So gagawa din ako. So if you have a background in Photoshop or kahit simpleng page or Word, it's a good thing about Figma is that you can easily navigate yung mga tools na magagamit natin. So when you click beside frame, we have here the shapes. So you can definitely create here your rectangle. On the right side, we have here our design tab. So we have here the fill, the stroke. So fill natin. Kung gagayahin natin tong example natin, so you can change the fill to white. Ayan. And then pwede tayong maglagay ng stroke, which is black. And then if you want the shape to have a round edges, you can definitely, here at the below H, the height, H is height, there's this corner radius. You can just drag it to the right or to the left. So makikita nyo, ayan siya. Nag-change siya. Okay? And then, ang goal natin dito is to identify lines. So next is you're going to put the no parking, of course, obviously. So you put here no parking. And then you can, on the right side, you can change the text font style and also the size. So let's put it to 48. Ganyan. All right. Again, you're going to create 2 examples of a no parking sign. You don't need to copy the image that we have here. All right. Okay. Kahit ganito lang kasimple. Let's see. Ayan. Oh, di ba meron pang Tagalog version. Bawat pumarada, no parking, loading only. Alright. Very good. Okay. So I'll go ahead and give you the next 2 minutes to finish that. So for those who are watching us, as you can see, there are different ways you can create a no parking sign. So this is just an example. We have here from Pogi. P. Red. Very minimalist, di ba? P. Pero P can mean a lot of things tulad ng Pogi, di ba? Ayan. How about your other example? Okay. For IJJ, ayan, you can go ahead and put it inside of one para naka-separate. Pero the two examples that I don't know he or she has, ayan, there's an English version and there's a Tagalog version with arrows, bawal pumarada. And then ayan, others are still doing their signs. Very good. No parking, ayan. If you need help, ayun. Very good. And if you need nyo din i-center ang isang text, you can go ahead and click on the text and below the paragraph spacing, nandito yung alignment options natin. Text align center, align left, and align right. Alright. Okay. Okay, very good. Ayan, nilagyan niya ng diagonal, which means no. Okay. Alright. So let's use this as an example before I show mine. When it comes to line, ayan, I'm going to call people who are not in Figma so that everyone can have a chance to be able to analyze this with us. Okay. Sino yung nandito? So, hindi ko sila tatawagin. All right. How about Matthew? Ayan, Matthew. So, my question for you is, sa dalawang, on the two no parking signs, what is the difference and why do you think line is important in this example? You can go ahead and unmute or chat your answer. So if you want me to repeat the question again, the question is based on the two no parking signs here, what are the differences and why is line important in this example? Or anyone can also answer the question if they want to. That would be better. Anybody who can answer? Ayan. You can go ahead and chat. And then while we're waiting, let's check the other examples as well. Okay, very good. Ayun, galing. Very good. Jason made a no parking sign using the shapes and a vector siya, as you can see. Eclipse. Ayan. Okay, very good. Bawal bumaba naman daw yung kay Raf. Okay. Ayan. Anybody can answer that question based on this example from IJJ? Ano yung pinagkaiba niya? It's very obvious here in the example. And what makes line important? Anyone? Ayan. Maliban kay Matthew, sino pa kaya yung wala dito sa Figma? How about Steph? Ayan. You can go ahead and type or unmute your mic. Ayan. Let us know if andyan pa kayo. Okay. So while we're waiting for your answers, we can also use this as an example. So of course, the text that you're seeing here are also considered lines. So ayan, lines. And also you can see when it comes to weight, diba? As you can see here, the no and the no here, it has more weight. The no on the right side has more weight compared to the no on the left side. And when we talk about lines, going back to the presentation, is that we would check it or identify it through the weight, color, texture, and size. Comparing it to the no parking sign on the left side, sabi ni Rafael, it gives much more emphasis. Very good. Yes, definitely. So as you can see here on the left side, imagine yourself driving or as a pedestrian, di ba? When you see this, it doesn't look alarming to you na no parking. It's also possible for people to park on that area kasi it doesn't look alarming or alerting na you should not park on this spot. Comparing it to the one on the right side, if you put colors that would show you or um, notify na bawal ka magparada or no parking, bawal bumaba, definitely put more emphasis to it. Kung kailangan lakihan yung no. If you need to put more weight to it, definitely, as you can see here, or you can also put weight to this one. How you're going to put weight on that one is under the text properties. Click on the bold and put on extra bold. All right. Also, another thing that is really helpful, that would give more emphasis based on what Rafael said, is to put arrows as well. With this type of example, it gives us an idea of the proximity kung saan bawal magpark, which is both sides. Bawal ka magpark. All right. Very good. Let's see the other output. Ayan, very good. Tulad nito, sabi ni Pogi, kung sino ka man, curious ako kung sino tong Pogi na to. Ayan. Ito naman, although this one can be, we can improve this more kasi P can mean a lot of things. Although red is something that can already say na bawal. You can put P for parking. I'm sorry, you can put a text to it. Also, at the same time, other people might not, especially those who are not familiar with street signs or warning signs. Ayan. But this is correct. The first example is a good example. Second example, no parking. Pero ang nakalagay green. So it would give an impression to the one reading this sign na ano ba, pwede ba mag-parking? Di ba pwede mag-parking? Ayan, bakit may green? Kasi usually, di ba, green means go. Okay? Can also improve this one by putting it at the center. Pero ayan, very good. Okay, ba't ko tinanggal? Ayun, ayan, okay. Oh, what happened to your output? Pero ayan, see. This one then, very good. From Dennis. So as you can see here, it's hard to it the example on the left side gives more clarity and emphasis compared to the one on the right. Ayan, very good. Let's see here. Yan, push lang. Okay. Oh, what happened here? Naglagay ng link. Okay. Ayan, very good, Hermione. And then, eto din. Good din to. Anything na, lalo na di ba pag gabi, minsan kasi hindi din basta-basta nakikita yung sign. Street signs pag gabi. So this is a good example, John Yell. All right. Very good. Then yung kay Rafael, bawal bumaba. Ayan. Baka masagasaan tayo. Bawal din mag-parking. Ayan. Okay. Good job, guys. Very good outputs. And I can definitely see that you have now a better understanding of the one of the graphic design elements, which are lines. Ayan. Okay. Next element we have, ayan, we have shape. So we all know what a shape is. It's any two-dimensional area with a recognizable boundary. Ayan. And we have two types of shapes. On the left side, you're seeing a square and an oblong, diba? These are geometric shapes. Another type of shape on the right side, which is the heart and the bubble here or the cloud, we have here the freeform. So you have two different types of shapes. We have geometric and we have the freeform shapes. One thing that we need to consider when it comes to shapes is it helps us organize, illustrate, and create interest in our designs or what we call assets. Ayan. So with shapes naman, the challenge here for number 2 is create your favorite drink using tape. Ayan. So I'll also give you an example how I'm going to do that. So yun yung challenge niya for number 2. Ngayon na meron na kayong familiarization how to use different tips on Figma. Next challenge is for you to create your favorite drink. So one thing we can do is we can create lines, or you can use your pen tool. Beside the shape tool on the right side, you have the pen tool, or you can press P. So of course, you depending on where you're gonna put your drink, you can create a cup here using the pen tool. There you go. And click on done. Once you have created the shape, then you can just create. You can put a fill to it, and then you can change the opacity here. So to change the color, you can click on this one. Ayan, change the opacity. Ayan. Pwede ding wala. So if you want to remove your fill, you can just delete it. And then if you want to add a stroke to put more weight to it, you can just drag this one. And if you want to see what it's called, you can hover to it. I think it doesn't show, but the size or the weight. Ayan. And then, so yun yung drink natin. So you, if you want to put a straw, you can definitely put a straw to it. Ayan, dito. And then, want it to be thick. Ayan. Put color to it. And then, when putting your layers, you can drag it at the top if you want it to be at the front, or you can drag it at the back if you want it for that layer to be behind. Okay? There you go. So if you want to, kung gusto nyo magmukhang nasa loob yung straw, you can put that layer behind the cup. And then, so my favorite drink is coffee. So how am I going to show an iced coffee? So one thing that I can do is I can just copy, paste this. Ay, hindi kita. Ayan. We can do the pen tool again. So, gusto ko na ganito kadami yung coffee. So, you can use the pen tool. And a good thing about this, we're going to use freeform. So, you can just simply do this para di ba mayroon tayong imitation of the waves. When you click on this one, the bend tool, select a point, and then it will create the curves for you. So you can just adjust it here based on how wavy you want it to be. Ayan. Adjust. Ganyan. So say for example, okay na to. Click on done. It will create the shape for you. And you can just put the color of the coffee. Wait, this is the stroke. If you want it, oh. And then, fill. Ayan. And then, just change it here. And then also change this. Ayan. All right. There you go. Okay. And then if you want to put ice cubes, you can definitely do that. Just put on a rectangle inside and then change the corner radius. Meron ka ng ice cubes. You can definitely change the color. You can also use the dropper tool para makuha yung kulay and then just change like that. So as you can see, di ba, para siyang nasa loob ng iced coffee. Then, ganyan. Then just copy paste it na nakalutang-lutang lang siya. And then you can also rotate this. All right. Let's see. Can I see your favorite drinks? Ayan. Very good. Okay. Ito, soda. Very good. Galing na. Ito, gumawa siya ng kanyang, nag-freeform siya ng kanyang mug. Very good. Okay, siya. Original taste. Coca-Cola ata yan. Ayan, very good. All right. So, mahilig si Jenny sa boba. Milk tea. Very good. Ayan. Well done, guys. And si John, I have yet to identify what milk. Very good. Ayan, ang galing. Oh, coconut, ang galing naman. Ni Pogi, kung sino ka man. All right. So, as you can see here, shapes, diba? Going back again to our key definitions when it comes to shape. It helps us organize. Helps us create a section if we're going to put shapes. Let's say in diba, as you can see in the Shopify landing page a while ago, there's a section or a shape that identifies this is a product item on the website. So in that shape, that's a square or a rectangle shape. So that is how we are able to organize that product in that landing page is by using shapes. All right. And also as well, even the small details na hindi natin basta-basta nakikita. Say for example, text fields. Important yan when putting product information, categorizing yung set of like options for the customer. So you can use shapes to organize that. Also gives more representation to add more illustrations or visual examples through the use of shapes. And it also captures the interest, diba, ng ating viewer or user. Ayan, very good. So next is forms. Forms are it can be 2 or 3-dimensional and exist in the real world. Ayan. So, this is an example of a form. Makita nyo itong pusa. This is a 3D form. And I've also created this ball as an example. I made this on Figma na 3D form in which na para siyang nakapatong sa isang surface. Or pwedeng nakalutang. Ayan. And I'm just going to exit out of this. So makikita nyo, one thing with 3D is that mukha siyang parang nasa real, based on the example, exists in the real world. Parang true to life siya. As you can see, this cat, ayan. This is from PowerPoint lang din. Pero you can definitely have 3D examples on Figma later. I'll show you how you're going to get resources for that. So ayan, this is an example of a 3D, kahit gumagalaw siya. Ayan. And going back, another example of a 3D and a 2D form is Tom and Jerry. So, di ba before, even if you're into animations or if you're into computer graphics, before they have created Tom and Jerry in a 2D form on the left side. Now they have improved and they also have created the 3D form of Tom and Jerry. As you can observe, the difference with these types of forms, it add more depth to it by using light, shading, ayan. Ayun. So that's an example of a form. Next activity is for you to replicate the ball sample in Figma. Ayan. So madali lang siya. Gagayahin nyo lang kung paano ko ginawa to. So this is the next challenge. So based on this example at the top, this red ball, you can go ahead and replicate. Makikita nyo din siya pwede i-copy-paste, di ba? Ayan. So paano nyo using the shapes and colors, ayan, very good. Ayan. So, na nakikita nyo si Jason, he used the dropper tool to copy the exact color of that ball, created 2 layers, created the mask. Ayan. So, if you're not familiar with the mask tool, is you're going to overlay 2 layers. So, I'm going to show you how it's done for those who haven't tried masking or layers. Ayan. So, I'm going to put an eclipse here. So when you're creating a circle, for it to be at the same aspect ratio or same size, you can hold shift. Kasi kapag if you're just creating your circle freely, hindi siya pantay. So if you hold shift, magiging pantay siya. You can change the color. You can use the dropper tool. Drag nyo lang kung saan yung gustong gayahin yung color. And then, copy and paste this. At the center, at the top center, you can see a mask option. So when you click on it, ayan, makikita nyo na nagmamask siya. Wait. Ayan. Nire-recall ko kung paano siya ginawa. Ayan, okay. Ayun. So to do that mask is you need to select two of those layers that you want to merong mask, meron din selection. So what I used a while ago was not this one. So may intersect and then there's union, there's subtract. So subtract yung ginamit ko para ma-achieve tong like lighter shade at the bottom. Parang yung ilaw is nakatutok sa taas. Ayan. And then I just um duplicated it. So ito yung original layer. I'll create a one here. And then I selected these two, created a subtract selection, put it in here. There are many ways you can do this as well. So you can put the layer at the bottom para ma-edit nyo to. Then drop, copy the color. Ayun siya, as you can see. Ayun, very good. Napakabilis. Ayan. So, it's all right if you're not able to replicate the ball right away. Because what also helped me learn kung paano ko nagagawa tong mga 3D effects na ganyan is also just like trying to copy it or how they're able to do it based on a reference picture. So, kaya later I'll show you references how you can get more inspiration using Figma and create your own design as assets as well. Ayan, very good. Napakagaling. Ayan. Si Hermione, alam ang buko juice, green juice. Ayan, very good. Ito she, milk tea, kape daw kay Kathleen, Coca-Cola kay Raph. Ayan, very good. And yung balls. Diba? Very good. Okay. So that is what we call forms. It gives more life to it based on the form. Ayan. And especially if you want to represent any assets na would give more emphasis na hindi lang siya 2D. Tulad na nakita nyo dito kay Tom and Jerry. Ayan. Diba parang true to life yung nasa right side. Okay, very good. Don't worry, we're almost at the end. We're at the fourth element, which is texture. So texture is a physical quality of a surface. So okay, back to recitation tayo. Based on what you're seeing on the right and the left. On the right image, how do you feel about that picture? What reminds you of it? Let me ask Marianne. Hi Marianne, ayan, kung nandyan ka pa at nakikinig ka. The right picture, when you see this picture, what do you feel about it? So the next element is about texture. When you see the right photo, you can see this, ano ba to? Tela ba to? Papel ba to? When you see that photo, what do you feel about it? Or ano yung nagiging impression mo sa picture na yan? Ayan. Aside from asking Muriel, anyone can also give their answer if they would like to. And you can go ahead and unmute too. Ayan. Anybody? Sabi ni Marian, glossy texture po. Very good. Ayan. How about the feel? Anybody else? So glossy. When you see this picture, do you think it's rough or is it smooth? Ayan. Anybody would like to answer? And very good, Marian. Anybody else? Ano nang ginagawa nila sa kabila? Ayan. Oh, may nag-unmute pa. Sabi ni Rafael, smooth po. Very good. Next naman is on the left image. What reminds you of this image? Second image. When you look at this texture, where po siya? Ito. Ito nasa left side. Ah, wet daw. Ayan, very good. Okay, reminds you of the rainy weather, wet. Ayan, very good. Okay. So when it comes to texture, these are the keywords that you can also take note of. Again, going back to the definition as well, it's the physical quality of a surface. And textures can also, hindi naman kailangan na it can be true to life. If you have observed MTV music videos or advertisements, di ba? Or I believe pag tuwing nanonood tayo sa sine, yung sa Pilipinas, yung meron silang advertisement na no camcording, yung parang mala MTV style. They use a lot of like 3D visuals that that added texture to it, makes it true to life, 'di ba? Yung if I don't know if you're familiar with it, there's a part there in the Philippines in the cinemas when they have those advertisements, parang china-chop-chop nila yung camera. Parang pag tinignan mo, pag hinihiwa yung camera, parang totoo siya tingnan. So that's also considered a texture. Doesn't always have to be true to life. And one of the keywords that you can also take note in definition of texture is smooth. It can be smooth, it can be rough, it can be hard, it can be soft. Okay? And with that, the activity that you have here is recreate your favorite texture. Ayan, medyo tricky kasi wala kayong guide dyan. Pero you can go ahead and recreate your favorite texture using Figma. And I'm going to give you, you can go ahead and put an image to it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to create it from scratch. So a good thing about Figma is that, say for example, you want to put a texture, a photo to it, you can just simply drag it. So I'm going to give you an example. Pictures. So ito yung wallpaper ko. Ayan. Drag niyo lang. Ayan. So this is my desktop wallpaper. So diba when I look at this, it makes me feel calm, wet texture. Ayan, nagulat kayo dun na. Ayan. So, eto. Ay, number 4 pala tayo. Ayan. Almost at the end. Don't worry. Tingnan nga natin. Itong kay Mai. Paper. Paper can be a texture. Very good. Flat, smooth. Ano pa kaya? Ito. Si Dennis is creating his own texture. That's it. Ayan. Take your time lang. Yung iba nasa number 3 pa. It's okay. Ayan. So while we're waiting for them to choose their favorite texture, let me ask those people who are watching us. Ayan. Siyempre, di kayo, ayan. Also want to know your insight. Pag tumitingin kayo ng texture, how about let's ask Jenny. Ay, nandiyan pala si Jenny, sorry. Exempted ka. How about Rothia? Hi, Rothia. So, what is your favorite texture and why? Ayan.
Ano po ulit?
Okay lang. Ayan. Ano yung favorite mong texture? So, bibigyan kita ng example. So, ayan. Ito yung examples ng texture. Ano yung favorite mong texture when it comes to graphic design?
Ano po? Yung sa may, yung parang ano po, yung bahay kubo na texture, pag nagda-design, yung parang criss-cross na tatlong guhit. Parang ganong texture po.
Oh, parang weave, ganon.
Hapo, yung mga ganon po sa mga damit, ganon po.
Okay, that's a good design. I have another question for you. Ano sa tingin mo mangyayari if you create, kung wari gagayahin mo din yung ginawa kanina, Shopify landing page. Tapos, di ba gusto mo nga yung parang weave or bahay kubo design. What do you think would happen kung puro texture yung nasa Shopify page mo? Is it good or is it not?
Masyado pong siguro parang too much na po pag ganon. Parang kung mas less, mas maganda po yung kung magagamit mo na maayos yung texture na ganon.
Yes, very good. And saan mo usually nakikita saan usually ina-apply ang texture? Pag kumari landing page. Is it on one of the, let's say, elements or is it usually used as a background?
Sa background po siguro.
Yes. That is correct. Ayun, thank you. Ayan, very good. So, kay Rotia, di ba, yung favorite texture niya is parang tulad ng sabi ni Joshua, banig-ish. Ayan. And kung ma-observe natin, it's not a good practice to put a lot of texture. Say for example, nag-enjoy ka, gusto mo nitong rainy field, medyo meron din itong parang glossy, soft texture. It can be overwhelming for the person to see or the user to see your creation if you put a lot of texture to it. So the common ways most people do it is that they add texture to backgrounds or even kahit small assets of the design. So just little use of textures, but it's also a good element to apply to your graphic design projects as well. Ayan, very good. Ito naman kay Kathleen. Oh, naku na. Ayan, oh, ayan ang effort naman ni Dennis, ayan, teddy bear, soft. Ang cute, ayan. Ito naman kay Jason Dahon. Yan, this can either be soft, ayan. So, ayan, nahuli ko na yung pangalan ng pogi, si Luis. Kala mo, ayan. Si Doniel, is this Stones? Ayan, take your time. And my is still creating hers. How about Jenny's? Nawala na si Raf. Nasaan na yung outputs mo? Pero yan, very good. Okay. We're at the end. Sa mga nasa Figma, go ahead and take your time. I'll still check that later. Ayan. Again, when it comes to texture, smooth, rough, hard, soft, you have identified the texture and best practices when using the texture. And last but definitely not least is, of course, balance. Ayan. Hindi pwedeng sobra, hindi pwedeng kulang, katamtaman lang. And balance means an equal distribution of the visual weight. There are two types of balance. We have symmetrical and asymmetrical. On the left side, as you can see, pag symmetrical, equally divided ang isang shape, element, asset. And on the right side, you can still divide it into two separate forms or entities, and it's considered asymmetrical. Ayan. When it comes to balance, one common example is yan, tulad ng landing page. And dito, challenge yung when it comes to UI, UX din na how are you going to make it balance to the user navigating through your Shopify page and it would help them to efficiently and conveniently shop around your page, diba? We can also use Shopify, not Shopify, Shopee as an example. If you're going to observe, parang minsan nagiging magulo na din pag nag-shop ka sa Shopify kasi biglang on your phone, biglang may lilitaw na ads or coins, ganyan. And hindi nagiging equal minsan yung distribution, whether or not you're browsing through your phone, through the mobile application, or through the web page. So those are the things you're going to consider. Or when you're going to create your presentations. Ayan. So a good thing about Figma is that when you practice balance, we have here, so when you click your frame, on the right side of our design tab, we have auto layout. Ayan, makikita nyo binalance niya na, pero all elements siya, kaya naapektuhan siya. Everything inside that does auto layout, or we have the layout grid. Especially if you're going to create a web page or for the web developers there. Ito din yung malaking tulong namin with our web. We created a web app in our thesis. So we use the grid. You can use also columns or rows, depending on how many layers that assets that you're going to put in your web page. So usually we put 5 or 6, depende kung gaano kadami. You can change the color. Para ito yung magiging guide nyo when creating your layout. Diba? Usually there's a section at the top or your navigation bar. Ayan, menu bar. Diba? Usually when creating a web page, meron dito sa top left is yung logo, then navigation pane, and then at the bottom is your footer. Then nandito yung body nyo. Other web pages have sections here. So in graphic design as well, this is how we apply balance. And with Figma, you can definitely be guided to achieve balance if you use layouts or layout grids. All right. And eto na, last challenge na. Don't worry, Atcha, ang dami mo naman pinapagawa. Syempre, para matuto kayo and maintindihan and appreciate natin kung paano ina-apply ang graphic design. And at least, di ba, meron na kayong experience and fundamentals of it. When it comes to balance, you also have to consider the color, the size, the number of assets that you're going to put inside the frame, and also the negative space. Hindi pwedeng tatlo, let's say, yung squares mo, pero yung isa sobrang layo naman. You can still have an equal distribution of those shapes if you put the correct amount of space in between. Ayan. Ito na, last na. So what we're going to do at the end for our last activity is create your calling card. Pero in your calling card, you're just going to need to put a photo, kahit hindi photo mo, your name, and your social media handle. Nilagay ko lang to kasi usually, di ba, you put your number or email, but just put your social media handle like @PogiLuis, ganon, di ba? So just put your photo, name, and social media handle. It's also going to test what you learned in today's session. If you're going to apply lines, shapes, ayan, forms, texture, it's up to you. Go be creative as you want. I'm going to give you the last, let's say 3 minutes to create your calling cards. Just very quick and simple. All right. So again, for the last activity, you're going to create your calling card, add a photo, your name, and your social media handle. Ayan. So, last 3 minutes. Ayan. Ito paper. Yan yung texture niya. Ito yung, oh, this feels pwedeng soft, ganyan. Alright. Pogi naman yan. Tingin. Ay, ang galing. Ayan, ganyan daw yung texture ng pear. Very good. Ito sa kanya marble or graphite. Ayan, sa kanya naman brick. Very good. Sa kanya naman bato. Kay Jenny naman, no? Cute. Very good. Okay. Tingnan natin. Again, go ahead and create your calling card. Put a photo, your name, and your social media handle. And while we're waiting for the people inside Figma, ayan, I can also, if it's okay, I can also entertain questions while we're waiting for them. So if you have any, just let me know. Ayan. So, sa ating sa mga nanonood sa atin, diba? And sa mga nanonood din sa live natin. So, if you're watching, don't hesitate to share our live so we can help more people learn then for free about Figma. Ayan. So, based on our session today, I also have a question. If you don't have any questions, I have a question for you instead. Ayan. While we're waiting for them, what do you think would happen now if we know the fundamentals of graphic design? Sabi ni Joshua, are there any plugins that are useful while designing in Figma? Yes, definitely. So, ito tanong ko sa inyo. I'll wait for your answers. So, for you to be able to add plugins, I'll share everything din pala na I was planning to share with you guys. When you right-click on Figma, there's plugins option here below Create Component. And a good thing about plugins is that you can put blobs, random shapes. You can put royalty-free photos like on Splash, have your color palette. You can add icons, and you can also convert your Figma file into code for those web developers. So, for example, blobs. It will just create a random blob for you if you just want to add random shapes and then insert. Hindi ko nakita sa, ayun, ito, dito niya ina. So these are examples of plugins. So when you right click, plugins, find more plugins. Depende sa gusto nyo, na need nyo. Ayan, merong mga animated GIF maker, autoflow, remove background. That's an example. Kung gusto mo maglagay ng image pero gusto mo i-remove yung background, I believe we have remove background here. Yan, remove background. Sabi ni Christine, would you recommend using Figma rather than programs like Adobe Illustrator for projects like PubMats po? Yes. With Figma, it's a very versatile tool na hindi lang siya ginawa para sa graphic designers, UI UX designers. I used it before as a student. I used it at work for publication materials, social media management. Malaking bagay din yan. If you're comparing it to Adobe Illustrator, um, I haven't used it specifically, pero kasi a good thing about Figma, when you're creating PubMats, when you go to frames, ayan, when you click on frame on the right side, you can see social media here. And there's option for you to create a PubMat for iPhones, for tablets, for desktop, for what, for paper, social media. So, hindi mo na kailangan i-Google every time na gagawa ka ng Facebook post. Naka-fix na siya based on the size, LinkedIn, Instagram, ayan. And yeah, I think that's a good thing about it as well. And ito yung i-share ko talaga. A good thing about Figma as well is if you want more resources or if you want to get more inspiration and really challenge yourself to create more projects, so ito yung usually homepage. At the top right, when you click Explore Community, nandito lahat ng inspiration, design systems, ito visual assets, development wireframes. So if you want to get inspiration for your PubMats, you can definitely check it here. With Figma kasi there are paid and free. So if you want free, of course, you can go ahead on this one. Ayan, mga 3D, PNG. So, madami kang pwedeng gamitin with Figma. Ayun. So, to answer your question, yes. Anybody else? Ayun. And going back. Oh. Ayan. So, now based on what you have observed, what would happen now if you know the fundamentals of graphic design? What do you think would happen if everyone knows and understands the fundamentals of graphic design? What would be the impact? Ayan. If walang mag-chat, ayan, maghahanap ako. Sino yung wala dito sa Figma? Ayan. Nakikita ko una kong nakita na name I see CJ. So CJ, what do you think would happen now if everyone knows the fundamentals of graphic design? Ayan, you can go ahead and unmute or also chat your answer. Ayan. Anybody can answer this question then as well. Okay. So while we're waiting, let's see yung mga output na natin. Ay, ang cute naman itong aso na to. Ayan, bite them daw. Lauren Itsum. Okay, very good. So you can also observe based on the calling card that you have created if there's balance to it. Ayan, nagalagay pa siya ng line. Very good. Cindy. And then we have Jason. Pepsi. Ayan. Follow nyo daw siya. It's Jason Piano. Very good. Ayan. You have applied lines, added a shape, form. Very good. Okay. And have applied balance din. Ito naman ako lang to, Kini, sabi ni Dennis. Ayan. So, you can also see here na balance can be improved on this one as well. You can also adjust this to be more centered then. Ayan. Yeah, you can also go ahead and explore and add lines if you want. Ayan, very good. Uy, idol ko yan, Katin, si Tony Fowler. Pero, ayan, very good. So, if maganda din to layout, ayan, pwede mo din i-center yung name niya, social media influencer. Ayan, very good. Oh, if you need help with that, when you click on the text below on the text properties, auto align center. Yan, very good. Sino pa? Si Rafael, ayan, Jomar. Ayan, naglagay siya ng waves dyan, ng shape. Free form. Okay? And si Taylor Swift. And then, okay. Di ko to kilala, pero kung sino man siya, mukha siyang sikat. Ayan. Alright, very good. So, these are good examples of different calling cards, and one way for you then if you want to improve more when it comes to applying balance and also texture, freeform, ayan, and lines and shapes, diba? You can also get inspiration from sample designs, mga mock-ups. Alright? And ayun. Again, if you want more of those resources, you can definitely check the community part of Figma. And ayun, going back to my question, I know you guys have some questions for me, but also I would like to know your final answer to our last question. So again, what do you think would happen if we know now the fundamentals of graphic design? Anyone can go ahead and unmute. Ayan, don't worry, I'm at the end of my presentation. Ayan, anyone?
Hello po.
Nakikita ko,
Ayan.
yes. Yes, Dennis.
Sa tingin ko po, if we all know po the fundamentals of graphic design, I think everything will be better. Kasi graphic design hindi lang naman po siya for for school projects. Makikita natin to sa sa everyday life natin, like yung mga logos ng companies. Syempre sa naman sa online, yung Facebook, yan, yung mga ginagamit natin social media apps, lahat yan ginagamitan sila ng fundamentals of graphic design since yun nga may user interface siya and so on and so forth. And I think yung graphic design is hindi lang siya basta-basta lapag ng elements, but also graphic design is it also needs to convey a message po. Like parang di lang siya basta shapes, but you need to clearly tell that message po. So informative rin po siya if we all know the basics of graphic design po.
Yes, very good, Dennis. Thank you for that. And also Joshua says we can be confident in creating our imaginations through design. Yes, so especially whenever I have itong mga design talk like UI, UX, people always ask me, Atcha, paano kung wala akong experience sa graphic design? I believe we're capable of being creative. We just need guidance on how we're going to apply our creativity. And with that to happen, we would be needing to understand and appreciate what graphic design is. Kasi yun yung magiging guidance natin when expressing ourselves. Tulad nga ng sabi ni Dennis, it would help us to be more informative on what message that we want to convey in our designs. So very good on that. Siyempre nga naman, going back to my presentation, if you don't know graphic design, ganito yung mangyayari. I really love how ang CAS has been yung marketing strategies nila. So nakita niyo dito, 'di ba? Wala yung graphic designer nila. Kaya dahil wala silang graphic design fundamentals. Kaya kung ano-ano na lang nilagay nila sa Word document at screenshot nila. Hindi sila marunong save as, 'di ba? To JPEG, PNG man lang. So ganyan ang ginawa niya. Pero on the other side, if you know graphic design, of course, you will definitely be able to convey a clear message. Isang keys mo lang, masaya na ako. This was posted 2 days ago by Angkas Padala. And although if you're going to read between the lines, diba, this is how they attract and entice their potential customers. So ayan, with that, thank you so much for your active participation. This ends my presentation. And if you want to learn more about graphic design and any tech topics, you can go ahead and scan this QR code and you can also click the link on our chat. Let me know how I did today, what I need to improve on, any other feedback. If you want more in-depth tutorial about Figma, definitely, again, I have that in here. If you click on the link here, other UI UX resources, I have that on my YouTube channel. And you can connect with me on Facebook, Atcha Abe. I post all of the free webinars. Ayan na nakikita ko. So I can share those opportunities with you as well. I'm also on YouTube. Aside from creating computer science and IT content, I also do vlogs, entertainment. You can also connect with me professionally on LinkedIn, and I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. Ayan. And with that, today I'll also be having an event at Google Developer Student Clubs in De La Salle University. Since it's Women's Month, I'll be talking about how women in tech create impact and history later at 7:30 to 3. I'm not sure if it's open to the public, but hopefully I'll be able to share a recording with you as well. And then on the 25th, I'll be having an event at UST about the value of UX and integrating it in your workflow. And lastly, as we end March, I'm not sure when this will be posted, but nakapag-record na kami. I also did in collaboration with Joblu how to ace an interview. Especially dyan sa mga graduating, I shared some tips and tricks on how you can ace your job interview. Ayan. Thank you so much for spending your time and I hope you learn a lot. Ayan. Thank you, everyone.
So thank you po, Miss Abe. Mukhang mapapa-binge watch ako nito sa YouTube channel mo. And sobrang helpful nung talk mo today. And bilang computer science student, feeling ko makakatulong nga yung mga your creations po and your outputs po in your YouTube channel.